I want to talk very briefly about Mercor, Mercor. We've had them on the show. I think it was back in August, episode 2159.
What do they do?
This is a company that is working on connecting experts to AI companies so that they can do reinforcement learning for human feedback, or RLHF. It has blown up. It is raced from very little to 100 million ARR, and then all the way up to about 500 million in their annual run rate. And they're raising $350 million at a $10 billion valuation. Blah, 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 blah. 20x ARR. But is it? I was going back through reporting from the information, and they said in April that Mercor pays out 60 to 70% of its top line revenue. That means that its net revenue is far less than half of the then current $100 million figure that they announced. So this yields an interesting question about gross revenue versus net revenue. We talked a lot about people kind of doing fuzzy things with ARR. I don't think Mercor is. I just think they're counting the bigger number. I also found a great question from Reddit about people talking about how easy it is to game ARR, annual recurring revenue, in that context. So Jason, could I please better understand from your perspective when something should be counted as recurring revenue, when annualized run rate makes more sense, and how founders can avoid accidentally tying their shoelaces together and getting a pink flag from firms like Launch? Because I keep seeing this story come up.
Looking at this, there is a new group of companies like Athena, which I was the first investor in, and I was the first investor in Jonathan's other company, Thumbtack. We're investors in Micro One. I won't speak for them. They can speak for themselves. We'll have Ollie on the program at some point. Mercor and these companies, if they are in fact not reoccurring, they're working on projects, and it's low margin for Mercor. Let's say 70% goes it. By the way, you know another company that gives 80%, 70 or 80% of the revenue? Uber, Apple.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah.
55% goes to YouTube creators. So it's pretty standard to, when you have a marketplace, to give the bulk of the revenue, the majority of the revenue, Airbnb would count in this as well, to the people providing the service, and that's marketplace dynamics. If you wanted to call it reoccurring revenue, yeah, that might be dishonest or not accurate, because unless the person says, we want to do, I don't know, 100, I don't know how they price, but 100 million questions answered per month to train our data, or 100 million, a billion per year, we're going to pay you $3 per, or whatever it is, 100 million, we're going to pay you $3 per, you're going to make 300 million from us. And that's a 2-year contract, paid monthly. So that is reoccurring, and it's a 2-year contract, but it doesn't feel exactly like Slack reoccurring, or Microsoft Office reoccurring, or Salesforce, where your lifetime value would be considered 4, 5, 6 years. So the opportunity here is you're getting into something where this is a new product or service. That's what makes these new companies exciting. It's not just like the standard software stack. So I think all of these are going to do great. I think these are great companies, and they're providing a massive service that's never ending. I don't think the need to train data is going away.
That was my next question, was how long is this business model going to last? Because Mercor has a much bigger vision for what they want to build as a company, and their AI work was the wedge originally. And I think it just got bigger than they expected. But they had a much larger plan that I thought they would just use this new capital to go off and pursue, because if you can sell 3.5% of your company, Jason, for 9 frickin' figures, sure.
Well, and wasn't the other company here the one that Facebook bought? There was another company,
Scale AI, which they
would have been competitors. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Mercor and Micro One and other companies we've talked to saw their business just absolutely accelerate in the wake of that deal, because no one trusted Scale AI anymore because of their Meta ties.
Sounds reasonable.
I'm just reporting what everyone said. Jason gives that a thumbs up, but I think that they're benefiting quite strongly from this. I just wonder if VCs are properly de-risking the downside of, this is contract labor and it's going to be price competitive. And
yep,
that's what I think.
The same argument was made about Airbnbs and Uber drivers and, Athena assistants. Like, can it scale? Can anybody replicate it? What I'll say is, my understanding of this data engineering work is that it's incredibly sophisticated already. And it's only year 2, 3, 4 of this really starting to click in. It's not going to end, folks. It's only going to get bigger. Hey, startup founders, are you tired of losing deals to endless procurement cycles and complex contract negotiations? There's a better way to sell your SaaS product. AWS Marketplace isn't just another sales channel. It's your shortcut to enterprise customers. When you list on AWS Marketplace, your software charges appear directly on your customer's existing AWS bill. No separate invoicing, no procurement headaches, no waiting months for approvals. But here's the best part. AWS actually incentivizes buyers to purchase from your listing with credits, helping you land your first 20 customers. And after that, AWS provides you with a budget to fund even more deals. Plus, you get one-click deployment, free trial capabilities, and access to committed spend budgets that enterprises are already planning to use. So stop watching your competitors close deals faster. Join thousands of successful startups already selling on AWS Marketplace. Ready to accelerate your sales cycle? Visit AWS Marketplace today and turn your biggest procurement obstacle into your biggest advantage.